Ramaphosa, the Deputy President of South Africa and the leader of the ANC, speaking to Christiane after Donald Trump's allegedly used a vulgar word to describe African nations. The controversy continues, of course. Joining me to discuss this is Tony Elumelu, one of Africa's most successful businessmen. Good to see you, as always.
Good to see you, Richard.
Without getting into the nitty-gritty of what might have been said or was said, at the very best, it was unfortunate in terms of relations between the US and Africa. Would you agree?
I think US and Africa have a strong relationship. It's unfortunate about what was said, but we know who we are and we know what we are. We know we are great people, and we know the continent has a lot of potential. What we just need to do as Africans is to make sure we get it right so that we're not so described again.
Getting it right means what?
Getting it right means prioritizing our young ones, the future of Africa, the young men and women, energetic, intelligent in Africa, who can perform wonders if the enabling environment was there. We need to get it right with the infrastructure in Africa. We need to get it right with the macroeconomic policies and environment. And the good news is that things are gradually falling in place.
Okay, so yesterday I was fortunate to interview the new president of Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
And he says the country is open for business, and they're looking forward to it. Are you optimistic about what will happen in Zimbabwe?
I'm optimistic about what is actually happening across Africa right now, because our leaders are getting it right. And in fact, what has happened in Zimbabwe is also an indicator of great things to come. The fact that they on their own decided to sort things out the way they did it, I think is a new kind of democracy that the world needs to learn from. But speaking more seriously, I think Africa promises good investment opportunities. The issue has always been creating the right environment. There's so much private global capital looking for the right destination. They can go to Zimbabwe as in other African countries once the right environment is put in place.
And you say this, but I think you'd have to agree, up to a point, that the history of African investment, or the history of African economic reform, has been one of promise that sometimes fails to deliver. Missed opportunities.
Yeah, missed opportunity, but we can't keep talking about missed opportunity. What I say to people now is,
yes,
end to blame game. Let's begin to fix it. Let's fold our sleeves and begin to get things right. Our government should get it right. The private sector should come forward. We need to support the young African entrepreneurs. We need to create economic hope and opportunities for them. Our friends of Africa need to begin to think how they engage with Africa in the 21st century, because it's no longer about grants. It's no longer about giving grants and aid to Africa. It's more about engaging with Africa in a way that creates self-sufficiency, in a way that creates independence, in a way that reduces dependency, perpetual syndrome of dependency.
Choose a colour. What colour pen would you like?
Of course, I like red. This is my corporate colour.
Red?
Yes.
Coming to the wall.
Okay.
How fractured are we? Again, define fracture however you like. The fracture board, it's getting a bit messy. We'll have to clean it up overnight. We're not fractured at all. This is we are very fractured.
Okay.
How fractured? Knowing what you know about Africa.
How fractured is the world of Africa?
Well, you take it as you like. That's the middle point.
I think the world is somewhere here, from my viewpoint, but there's promise.
So it's getting better?
There's promise.
An arrow goes that way?
Yeah, it's getting better because the way this year has started, we've seen, especially like countries like Nigeria, we've seen the market indicators showing good promise. And so we're optimistic that it will be a better year. But again, key to prioritize things that are important to us on the continent. We need to engage with African youth and make sure we give them economic hope and opportunities.
Thank you. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you,
as always.
Richard.
Yeah. Now, as we continue today, you heard from the Saudi finance minister moments ago. Now we turn